big in Tokyo. I wanna be big in Tokyo. Big in Tokyo. I wanna be big in Tokyo. Big in Tokyo. I wanna be big in Tokyo. Big in Tokyo. I wanna be big in Tokyo. Drink all the sake I want. Read all the manga I want. Wear all the babe that I want. Buy all the J's that I want. Be with any girl that I want. Drive any car that I want. I'm always out of the country. I'm sorry if I ain't home. If the money ain't calling, I never answer my phone. You can see the flow in my chakra. All we smoke is homegrown. You know the boy love ramen. Probably sipping on miso. I know a spot that has shield. I got a spot that has deals. Wait till I get a kimono. I'ma swag it out in my dojo. Some girls are asking for a photo. I guess this happens in Kyoto. When you young and popping in Kyoto. I ball with all of my nakamas. I dance with all of my nakamas. I drink with all of my nakamas, yeah. I only listen to Cole. I touch down with peace. Hiro isekai, shinara irekai. You are my enemy, you are no friend of me. You covered in jealousy, we only drink Hennessy. Big in Tokyo, I wanna be big in Tokyo. Big in Tokyo, I wanna be big in Tokyo. Big in Tokyo, I wanna be big in Tokyo. Big in Tokyo, I wanna be big in Tokyo. When I got money, you know it. When you got money, you blow it. How much you caught me a rollie? I'm living like Zach and Cody. Sweet life from young in the OG. From young, we learned to maneuver. I pick up and skirt in a Uber. I grew up with killers and shooters. No tell, but I think I'm cooler. I used to sleep with a deuce. I'm the moon god, got the juice. You switching sides like the man Bruce. Tight circle, cut the loose ends. Know I can go on vacation. You cannot escape from the matrix. I wrote all this shit in the basement. Art is my new occupation. Let's meet up at Kennedy Station. I've been at studio all day. I'd rather just make it the hard way. Sitting back while I'm looking up. Remember backyards cooking up. I just wanna be big. I wanna be big. Big in Tokyo. I wanna be big in Tokyo. Big in Tokyo. I wanna be big in Tokyo. Big in Tokyo. I wanna be big in Tokyo. Big in Tokyo. I wanna be big in Tokyo. Drink all the sake I want. Read all the manga I want. Wear all the bait that I want. Buy all the J's that I want. Be with any girl that I want. Drive any car that I want.
Peace.
Drive any car that I want.
Sup, niggas? What's really good? It's popping. Wait, what? Kind of off topic, kind of on topic, but what's the best fight in worst? My favorite fight in worst. I'm not a big fan of the Yamachi fight. I actually don't rate him, so it's not that fight. It might be Guriko versus Hana in the gymnasium. I don't think it had the same level of weight and epicness that Rinda and Boya had, but I still liked it. But I'm probably overlooking something. I wish I was remembering as well as I should. But Guriko is my favorite character in worst. So when he be kicking niggas, I'll be moved. So I'll probably go with that. But I might be overlooking something, honestly. So we never really got a Bitsuo type fight because at the end they off screened it. But yeah. Anyways. Follow up with Crows too. I love when Greco pulled up with the chair. Yeah. He said this is a real fight, bro. That was crazy. I said, yo, what the hell? Yeah, I mean, he's no Rinda Man. Rinda Man is like he's the GOAT. and Boya's my guy, but right after it's Guriko. He's like one of my favorite. Like, well, Rindaman, I like Guriko more than Rindaman, but he can't beat Rindaman. He can't beat him. Boya's the only person that was able to tie with that monster. So yeah, they actually based Curl off of my life. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it, dog. I knew it. So yeah. So Guriko is Kareem. Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, third. Yeah, I'd go Crow's universe based on everything I've read, and I've read QP, Sona no Crows, Last Crow, Psycho Crows, all of that, Crow Zero. I would go Rinda, Boya. Then I'd go Guriko. Okay, well, one of the oldest brother of the what the fuck are they called? The Beto brothers, the oldest one, he was cold. He's probably top 5 too, but it's been a while. Let me think about that. Anyways, let me think about that. But that being said, when I made the video today, and by the way, I appreciate the feedback. Jay ripped me a new asshole. That's exactly what I was looking for. Some critique. Um, he basically said volume's too low, music a little too high. I pause too much. It's obvious that I'm not used to reading, so it's a little awkward. But he loved the visuals. He loved the example, the subject matter, and the concept of the video. He said was really good. So I think the one that I just made is a lot better. It's a little bit shorter. It's only 9 minutes instead of 12, but I want to, but Abdel, Glam, and someone else not forced me, but they gave me feedback on how the portion where I read everyone's comments, it fucked up the flow of the video, so I actually cut it out. The original video was about 18 minutes long, so I actually cut it out. And I decided what I will do is I will talk with you guys. We'll talk about our favorite fights, some of the worst fights we've seen, what makes a good fight, and then read the commentary in a stream. So I decided to do that instead. I'll probably do that more often with some of these videos. But first things first, has anyone here not seen it? Should I play it? It's about 12 minutes. Should I play it first, or do you want to just go into the comments? I'm just asking. But yeah, Kareem. This will be part 2 of the video. In a matter of speaking, I mean, it's a stream after. I don't. I'm just talking about Tatsuya. Yeah, Tatsuya. We need Real Delinquent manga back. Yes, the volume was lower than usual. I didn't notice that. I maybe because I had the headphones on. That was my own fault. I fixed that with this video. The script reading was what stood out the most to me. It's you seen it, you seen it. Are you starting off with broader topics and honing in on specific series? I'm kind of just doing what I want, if I'm being honest. And right now I'm keeping it surface level. So for example, right? When I brought up like one of the examples of like choreography, how choreography and paddling is good, I showed you what I was talking about, but when I dive deeper into it, I would give you multiple examples and show you what's good, what's bad, and things of that nature. I'm keeping stuff surface level. So the next, well, I can actually just show you right here. I'll play 30 seconds of this. I don't mind because you could still see 30 seconds naturally. What day? Oh, okay. It's like I'm tripping. So this is the next video. Stories come in all types of forms, genres, styles, and mediums. It's fantastic that as a species, we can experience narratives in so many different ways, each with their own set of pros and cons. I'm talking novels, movies, comics, video games, cartoons, anime, manga, visual novels, webtoons, etc. The list goes on. Films are generally concise. You're going to get an entire story told to you within about 2 hours. Cut off. You're cut off. That's all you get. But yeah, like the the next topic that I was thinking about, well, I do want to do some actual like series coverage. I wrote down Black Lagoon, Psycho-Pass, Reborn, Dino Ace. I did do a Dino Ace writing already. I want to actually talk about Erased, why I think is the absolute worst manga and or anime that people pretend is good. I think that shit is actually fucking dog shit. Like objectively, subjectively, all of it, just not good. I'm tired of people pretending it is. I don't care if you like it, but don't tell me it's good. You're lying. So yeah, all this considered, I've been having fun because for once I'm doing what I want to do and not what I feel the algorithm wants me to do. Cause I'm not gonna lie to you, this Tower of God and One Piece shit beating my ass. Cause it's not moving me. I need something to sink my creative teeth into. So yeah. I was, but post Kisaki was the biggest fall from grace I've seen. Series following weekly, and I used to be a Ruby fan. Oh shoot, the difference between volume is definitely noticeable in the between the two videos. Yeah, okay, yeah. So I made sure to look out for it. I I skipped a part of my process. That was on me because usually after I have it on my ear, I play it out loud on my computer. And sometimes I like to listen to how it sounds on the phone because the volume's gonna be a little bit different. But I didn't do that this time. I was tired and I started uploading it, so that's on me. But all right, let's read some of these comments. And if anybody wants me to play the video or watch the video, I can do that. But um, like this part by itself took me 3 minutes to get through because it's actually pretty long. But we'll have a discussion. And we'll see how we feel about things. So Young Bird was like the fighting choreography looking good and being easy to follow. What the fighters are actually doing in the fight doesn't matter how flashy it looks. If I can't understand or follow the movement of the fight, it takes away from some of my enjoyment. Just kind of venting about TOG because I never know what the fuck be going on in those fights most of the time. I added the F word. He definitely didn't. He definitely didn't curse, and I just realized I don't have my son on screen. It's just not a good father right now. What's going on with me, bro? Where is my son? I need you here. You give me strength. You motivate me. You remind me why I suffer. What I do this for. There he is, my son. Yes, sir. The only fights that were good were the ones with Edis and ass. We need to remove the opening from the anime. The opening shouldn't be associated with the race. All right, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Writing discussions and why certain things are enjoyed, like certain tropes or techniques, are generally fun to talk about or hear opinions on. I think, like how I think the mother trope can ruin a villain. I mean, I can like to some degree. I don't know if it's. Hold on. I don't want to. Hold on. Before I expose myself in my what you call my favorites and bookmarks. Let me just go on this blue screen for a second. So I'll tell you what I have what I have here right now. Just give me a sec. So I want to talk about the best anime for getting people into new anime. So I put like anime noobs. The problem with female characters in anime and manga. I have I'm working on what I think the most overrated anime manga is, which is Erased. I want to do a Psychopaths video, Black Lagoon. I actually have an Adventure Time what I'm cooking up. Behind the popularity of One Piece, um, Reborn, BoJack Horseman, Dino Ace, and as a conceptual idea here, I have the art of dialogue, how to actually make dialogue engaging in your series. So those were some of the things I was thinking about. Doing. Um, I actually might redo like I did a video talking about magic and power systems, but I'll probably do one with more in depth where I talk about why I hold some of these in high regard and why I hold some of these in low regard. And for the first time, you'll probably hear me talk in depth about Allomancy from Mistborn, because Allomancy is my favorite my favorite magic system. I really like it. So you blocking half the comments, you should move my face cam. Yeah, I can just slide this over. How's that? Okay, so this one is from Zoller Scotty. For movies, it's easy to follow. The fight is easy to wait. Wow, for movies, the fight is easy to follow. Jackie Chan scenes are clear in their action due to their lack of cuts, and the camera is zoomed out so we can see both fighters. I consider him to be the gold standard. In manga, comics, anime, etc., the characters who are fighting and why they're fighting would be the primary thing. I believe there needs to be sufficient build up to the fight, and it can't just come out of nowhere. Spectacle doesn't do it for me anymore, and that's my major issue with JJK and Black Clover. Yeah, the fight is happening and some cool choreography is on display, but I don't care at all. Stakes are also important, and there needs to be consequences. And the story can't break its own internal logic or treat the audience like a fool. If I remember correctly, and I guess spoilers for Black Clover if you're not caught up or something, or up to at least 304. I don't read it, so it's got nothing to do with me. Um, Chapter 304 Black Clover completely destroyed the series for me. I've been unmoved since then because Yuki Tabata made it clear everyone, including nobody's side characters, will survive and be alright. So when the big bad of the arc finally appeared, I was unmoved, and that feeling remained in its final arc. In Tower of God, Bam versus Elaine and Bam versus Dada Jihad are prime examples of what makes a good fight to me. Now, after Bam versus White, any fight Bam is in is weightless.
Bam versus Ren was a cool fight with interesting abilities, and how Bam used his experience to circumvent Ren's mouth of despair and get the victory was well done, but in no point in that fight did I ever think Bam would lose. Bam is invincible at this point, and the only intrigue when it comes to his fights is how he'll win if his opponents has unique abilities like Ren and Sea Snake. I don't read Tower God for the fights, but when Bam is in the room, there is no reason to fear any outcome that will be to his detriment. There are always ways to make Bam's strength his weakness, like protecting those around him, and he can't go all out due to their proximity to him. Meanwhile, his opponent doesn't care and goes all out and attacks them. Hopefully, I was able to articulate myself well and get my point across. So yeah, from a viewer grabbing perspective, of course, it's great that you enjoy this type of content more. Video essays are type that grab a wider audience. I hope so. I hope so. So yeah. Hey, yo, Brandon Sanderson is the GOAT. He's not the GOAT to me, but he's a GOAT. Like he's goated. Like goated. Like I hold him in very high regard, but he's not my absolute pick GOAT. My GOAT's over there. I have a sweater with my GOAT on it. Okay. So I want to ask you guys this because I think this is an interesting question, right? Because I think with his example with Bam is totally fair. But would you guys agree that sometimes a character that you know is overpowered, who usually wins, even though they're about to come and fuck shit up, you're excited to see them do it or see how it's done? I think you can make overpowered characters very interesting to follow and watch them fight, even if it's usually going to be one sided. I'd actually argue, and might disagree with this. I think they did a good job with Gojo for most of the series. I really liked how he was so strong that even the bad guys had to like always constantly worry about where he is, what is he doing, and I found that the way that he was trying to bring up and coming Jujutsu sorcery, so I'm gonna just say mainly Hikari, Yuji, Megumi, and Yuta to his level in case something goes wrong, so he's not top. It's not a top heavy thing where like Gojo can't do it, no one can do it. They did well with him. I think for the most part, for a long time with Raziel and Noblesse, it worked well because the more power he'd use, the more lifespan he'd use up. I thought he did a decently good job with that for the most part, but then it got super repetitive and they started doing over and over and over. But my favorite example of this would be Escanor. I think Escanor, I don't remember if he really loses any fights like that. And I know there's the gimmick where it's like he's weak in the night and he's strong in the day, but bro, boy, when it's time for a scanner, I don't care. I'm hype. I'm excited. I know he's too cold. I know why the sun is going up. He's getting stronger. And then for 1 minute when the sun's at its apex, he's the one. But it actually excites me. I look forward to it. Even though I know he's going to wash who he's fighting. And that included him putting the work on Meliodas. So again, it could work. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing to have a character be demonstrably more powerful than other people. It's all about the execution. Built up, I agree. It's near the Superman ceiling when it's set up to eventually break. Gojo was used pretty well. Saitama too. Mostly Saitama is fun in his own right. In his own right. Of course, overpowered characters can be fun when done well. One Punch Man is one of the best examples. I can agree with that. Shout out to Saitama. Yeah, some people definitely don't think that's the case. Like a fight can only be good if the characters are relative in strength, or it's not a chasm that can't be overcome throughout the course of the battle or in a short training period. You definitely can make fights with overpowered characters fun, but the problem is with things like Bam is that he's an overpowered character that's set up as an underdog. So there's a disconnect between how weak the author wants them to seem and how strong the audience knows they are. That's a good point, and I'd argue Oda's doing that with Luffy in some ways. So I think that's a fair point. I'm gonna tell you this right now. Right now, as far as I'm concerned, Oda is the manga SIU. He gotta beat these allegations, and he's not beating them right now. All right. Sonny Katapali says this. I think it's when I can't predict how the fight will end, and neither fighters can beat the other without taking damage themselves. Also, don't like when the fights are thrown in for the sake of having a fight scene. So many times, some side is too unreasonable to find an obvious non-fight solution. We can see as onlookers. And lastly, when the fight choreography looks like they rehearsed it and is not natural, which is fair. That's all I really had here on Patreon, though. So we can, yeah. Yeah, this was the original video, by the way. So like, pretty much
Please like the video.
pretty much this entire section here, I cut out. I'm like, yeah, it just fucked up the flow. So, but yeah, on Patreon, y'all got the elongated version, if you will. So let's go to YouTube. We'll go to YouTube, then we'll go to Twitter, to Twix, to X, whatever we're calling it now. Overpowered characters need a certain level of charm or charisma to make them work. Bam got no sauce. That's why he doesn't move the masses. I'm trying to think of other examples that are probably good. I'll say I've always said this, right? Granted, I never finished this series. I never got too deep into it, so maybe something changed along the line, and I'm incorrect in this. But I've never been mad at the main character of Solo Leveling because I truly felt like he earned his ability. I know it's overpowered in the sense that he can like keep training himself and become stronger than the S ranks or whatever the case was, but because of the way the beginning was so dangerous and you had to solve a mystery plus have the courage to do it and then succeed in the execution of that whole like ordeal, I felt like he earned his ability. So it never bothered me that he was getting so strong, if that makes sense. There's probably a lot of good examples out there, but yeah. Yeah. Check on Nas Patreon. Thank you. The subscribe star is almost done, I promise. One of my favorite fictional battles was Saitama versus Garo in the webcomic, even though it was obvious Saitama could end the fight anytime he wanted. Garo was one of the first times because I used to read the One Punch Man 1 webcomic back in the day. Oddly enough, I actually bring up that example in my Ride or Die video. And Goro, I think, was one of the first and few examples that I saw, especially from like a manga, anime, Eastern storytelling standpoint, where I saw the villain progress the way I usually would see a shonen protagonist progress: fighting, losing, drawing, getting beaten, and just climbing up that ladder. The same way you would see a main character do that to take out the villain of the arc. I have seen it a lot more than that, and it's one of I would argue it's not it's not a staple or a trope yet, but it's one of my favorite things. I like seeing the bad guys grow and get stronger, especially if the good guys have usurped them or are stronger than them. I think Mahito and JJK is another good example of this. I like seeing him develop that he was fighting Nanami and Yuji, then Nanami and Yuji, and then like how he got better and better. Like he was on a pretty good growth rate. Was talking to a friend about how you feel when a fight neither has uh when a fight has neither combatant receive visible damage or react, even in the non-physical fights, like playing with reactions, like being shaken, or the fact that someone is not reacting, should be link deleted. But there are series where it's rarely ever done, where a character takes a big attack and just walks off and goes, "Yeah, everyone does that." Tower God. God of High School and some webtoons have something where an attack looks way more painful than it really is, or I think like, oh shit, yo, they got smoked, and I'm like, oh no, their shirt just ripped. Sometimes when they edit or censor stuff, I think that causes some problems where things look unrealistic. I never forget, like in the manga, when Hibari gets cut by Belphegor's knife and wires. He gets gashed in the manga, and in the anime, his shirt just rips. I'm like, what the fuck is this, bro? Gang around from Ghost who's another overpowered character than one. I agree. One thing that bothers me about Soul Living was that no one else can get stronger. That's pretty boring to me. Again, okay, so I think that's a fair criticism. I never read beyond before they went to the Chimera and like arc or Island. I stopped reading around there, never came back. I completely lost interest, so I don't know. But yeah, I hate when they get attacked and there's no like visible damage unless there's some type of reasoning for it. Like actually will use an example that I used pretty recently. Shout out Whitebeard Mustache. Pretty recently was Zod versus Superman and Man of Steel. I understand from other people, but if two Kryptonians are fighting, it's the equivalent of two humans fighting. You would bleed, you would take damage. Yes, you would heal because you have a healing factor, and the closer you are to the sun, it would happen, but your clothes would rip and stuff too. I didn't like that Zod and Superman fought and nobody like had like any visible damage. I thought that was really whack. Um like Ruby does this, and I'm off Ruby. I've been off Ruby since the 5th season, but you have an aura like a like you take damage almost like it has to break through your armor before you take actual physical damage, if you get what I'm saying. So there's a reason why they get comboed in just like a video game to get back up, so they had like a built-in reason for that. So yeah, anyways, let's see what y'all got over here though. Actually, look who it is. Aura was like a health bar, basically. Yeah, I'm actually might go in order. Not because I'm just going. Let's go like this. Okay, themes and build up. Did I answer this? Oh, there we go. Themes and build up similar to the wrestling industry. If you don't have, I actually use booking and promo. Simi should have been proud, but he ain't say nothing about it. I'll beat his ass. Fuck New Yorkers. I'm joking. I'm joking. Themes and build up similar to the wrestling industry. If you don't have either of those, you are missing out on an amazing element of storytelling. The build up will make any flaws in the fight seem less and make you invested. The themes are what you remember after the fight and what you discuss years later. The themes are also something that both characters take away after the fight and leave readers or viewers still invested them well after. Like me always going back to like Rob Lucci versus Luffy. There's an extra note. I asked some friends and got responses of impact and flow, which I believe for your average reader is probably more common and important. Yes, impact is very important. In Smallville, all you need is a green rock, and you can yeah you can. And I use Smallville as an example in my last video too. You know how to talk about that Smallville, yeah. You put some kryptonite around Clark, and all it takes is one human punch, and he starts bleeding. He bleeds too easily in Smallville, though. But yeah, yeah. Hype and follow through, like waiting for Itachi and Sasuke to fight, only to realize it goes way deeper than them throwing hands. Oh, there's more. Yeah. Or was shit? I lost what was that. Hype and follow through, like waiting for Itachi and Sasuke to fight. I don't like that fight actually. To only realize it was way deeper than them throwing hands. Some depth in each character's reasoning for fighting, and the other rather than it being a simple clutch last minute save by another character, letting the fights finish uninterrupted. No hyper explanation during. Force people to pay attention to the details and surroundings. I like that part. That being my last point, location. I get bored seeing blind backgrounds that have no significance. I want to see people using the surroundings, small things you usually wouldn't notice being used, like stop signs or a concrete slab, making the surroundings feel alive. And yeah, the stop sign reminds me of JoJo when fucking Dio takes it to try to chop off Jotaro's head when he's trying to fake. Yeah, yeah, I like that. I skipped a second comment. Did I? For me, it's mostly choreography, build up stakes, emotional investment. I did. I'm sorry, and the themes can add to that. But if the choreography is lacking, sometimes it makes it feel like a waste. Kind of like the journey versus the ending of a story conversation. Uh, example: All Might versus All for One in Kamino. I don't. Is that the fight where he loses his ability? Was Cheeks in my opinion? I like that fight. Well, not the execution, but the emotion behind it. A few air beams and a speech and a big punch at the end did not move me. But in contrast, I've seen drunk Jackie Chan squad wipe a bar full of dudes because he bumped into somebody, or John Wick kill half of New York for a dog he had for a few days and be the edge of my seat. It was the last thing his wife gave to him though, so it had a lot of sentimental value to him. I feel like if a fight can't stand on its own, at least to some degree, then everything that went into it is kind of wasted. Of course, there's exception to this, but if your main event is lackluster, why did I sit through the rest of the show? Long story short, hands raw. If I could, so a lot of fights are so good that even though I don't have to always watch to build up to it. I know what the fight means, and I could just watch it again. So I think that made sense. Second comment: see the rich and by some handsome guy, and bro seems smart too. I wonder who it is. That was my bad though. So yeah, of course, not everything can be vagabond or berserk with backgrounds. Yep. If you don't have to, you don't. You have to build the fight. If you create two interesting characters who have good dynamic that just happen to fight, I will like it depending on the kind of fight. I think that has too many variables. It's hard for me to care about somebody new immediately. Like I give the Demon Slayer movie credit, but Ren Goku was not a character that stuck in my craw. I was like, he came and he went, and I was like, I don't even know who this Akaza guy is, or whatever. He upper moon, ooh. Like, I didn't care at the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I don't know, but but again, I'm a character guy though, so I guess for me, it probably hits me a little different. But yeah, I apologize for missing that. Let's see what else. Did I just read this one? Yes, surroundings. Okay. Emotional weight, good choreography and tactics. The best example of my one of my all-time favorite fights is Obito versus Kakashi. Oh my, why? That fight just had everything for me. Their past and their past elevated to extreme levels. You know what? Fair enough. More power to you, brother, sister, they, them. I don't know. Both parties engaged in the fight must have something important to gain or lose on the outcome of said fight. They also should have history with each other, whether that is negative or positive. I also feel like there must be a backstory on each character as well as a logical reason why both parties are engaged in combat. Finally, the most important thing of a quality, well done fight is timing. I think timing was a good point that I didn't bring up. Sometimes there's a moment like a perfect storm of things happen, and it's just the right time for something to happen. If you could wait too long, or you can do something too early. Yes, timing. When the fight takes place is single handedly the most important characteristic of a well done fight. Random fights at random time just because does irreparable damage to the story in general and tarnishes the reputation of each parties involved in said fight. Just my 2 cents. Um, I felt that way about most Hashira. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Obito versus Kakashi, block them. And the way people are gassing Rengoku had me so lost. He's alright, but he's not that guy. I don't even like hate him. It was just like I don't know. Again, it takes a little more for me. You know me. I got that little primacy bias, bias. The fuck is bias? I said virus and bias at the same time. Look who it is. Look who it is. For me, the most important thing is that it looks cool. That's totally fair. But what looks cool is subjective. Yep. Also, I like when attacks are portrayed in a way that you can tell they are powerful and when the fighter takes a lot of damage when hit. Yes, sir. What's a series that you guys watch sometimes where you feel someone gets hit by an attack and it looks absolutely devastating or lethal or fatal, but it's not as they're like fine after. I actually think Oda does this sometimes too, which kind of annoys me. People shed real tears for him too. Oh my lord. Again, the movie did a better job though. It depends on the type of fight. I think that's fair. To the death, just a brawl, a non-lethal tournament. Yeah, that's a good point. That's context. Each one requires some different qualities in my mind to be the most enjoyable it can be. Which ones do I like the most? End game crazy power ups and the early life and death challenges. So you tend to like fights in the end game and at the beginning. That's interesting. I'd probably argue most series I don't care about the like final fights like that. It usually gets a little ridiculous, and I'm just here to like finish it off. It's like now I will throw the moon at you, and it's like, oh, whatever, dude. When we started, we couldn't even lift a boulder, but yeah, I don't know. It could work though because I mean I love Gurren Lagann, so I guess it depends on execution. When they was chucking them galaxies like ninja stars, I said, boy, I'm up. Good build up in stakes, tactics. Yeah, that's fair. I want to talk about tactics. Don't let me forget about tactics and strategy. I'm gonna write it down here. I'm gonna try tactics right here. Tactics. Don't let me forget. Because there's something about this I want to talk about. The two most important things is choreography, emotional investment. Choreography speaks for itself, but being able to make me care about the outcome is what separates a good fight and a great fight. I could go into how you can get me invested, but I feel like I'll be rambling. Also, you can include impact, being able to make me believe the attacks are hurting the other person. And one more thing I would say is the final blow should be satisfying. Oda's actually very good at the final blow for sure. Yes, that's one thing I'll give him. I like how most of the fights finish and what they mean metaphorically or symbolically more often than not, figuratively, if you will. World Trigger is the gold standard for tactics in the manga for me. Do I have one? I'll think about that. I didn't get far enough in World Trigger to see all that stuff. I just kind of I remember the main character has white hair and he has some shit and he does this face like when niggas are lying to him. That's like all I remember. To me, it depends on what kind of fight. If it's a magical spectacle, then make it beautiful and epic. If it's realistic, make it grimy with everything. With him. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Like, I said this in the video. I don't expect Kamehamehas to be thrown if this is a mixed martial arts manga like Tepu. Like, don't do that. Like, I can stay grounded, so that's good. World Trigger is gas. There's a the thing between tactics and there's a thing between tactics and the author just making shit up. I'm gonna circle back when I'm done with the YouTube comments. Honestly, I like most fights as long as it's not hard to read. Cluttered panels or pages are annoying to the high heavens, but I do think three main factors decide it for me. A good fight scene is one that flows easily and reads well. A good establishing of who's fighting who and why. I want them to get dirty, fight hard, and ultimately win and prove their ideologies or learn its flaws. Sometimes I like a good flex off as well. Having one side thoroughly beat up the other handedly can be very satisfying and even cathartic. Yes. And this one's more arbitrary, but the abilities also help decide for me. Either a simple ability applied in clever ways or confusing abilities applied in ways I don't even think of, and each time it's a surprise to see what they will do next. I think that's fair. They're actually smart instead of frauds, so the author wants you to think they're smart. Also, like I said, I think I said this yesterday, a genius or a very smart character and stuff like that is always going to be limited by the literal overall intellect of the author, writer, artist, creative team. If they're not particularly smart, it'll be hard for them to create characters that are really smart without making them like a pseudo intellectual. Making all this shit up, people pretend it's good tactics. Shout out to Gashi. I'm about to talk. I'm gonna cook in a second. I would say I enjoy a variety of things. First of all, I love sports, manga, haiku, giant killing, baby steps have great matches. Baby steps is a little. I'm not a lover of baby steps personally, but giant killing cool. Through sports matches aren't exactly fights, but the concept is similar in general. I like sports and psychological tactics. I think that's fair. I brought up Death Note, Ao Ashi and Dino Ace, and Food Wars in mind. I should have brought up Bambino too, and maybe like Nobunaga no Chef, but it's fine. Hajime Ito is boxing, so it's a sport, but also a fight. That's why it's one of my favorites. Great emotional impact too. Say my favorite fights in terms of the fight itself are in early Naruto and the fighting while thinking you're on your feet aspect is nailed by those two more than any other shonen. I don't know if I agree with that. One Piece and JoJo are also very enjoyable for the goofiness, but also being serious at the same time. JoJo is a series that gets underrated for the level of tactics are being used. These niggas are smart. I'm about to talk about it. In Kingdom, the military tactics is basically good. When it comes to Seinen, Blade of the Immortal is great. In terms of art, Vagabond's my favorite. In turn, if in terms, if my favorite, I can't choose. I consider all those mentioned above top tier, but not easily comparable. It's up to preference. Also, honorable mention to Bleach for the most enjoyable trash talking. I think that matters too. Trash talking, eh? Fair enough. They're actually oh, yeah, to be frank, if they can they can steal smart ideas from real life and other writers, so they can somewhat bypass the writer's intellect, but only by so much. I'd argue though, I don't know if I'm good at this, but it's sometimes like it's easy for me to tell if something's super derivative, like it's very uninspired. It might sound smart, but I'll be like, this is very uninspired, which to me usually indicates that you just took these ideas from a bunch of other things that you saw or read or other mangaka you appreciate. That's just my opinion though. My biggest pet peeve are character stories that make someone seem smart in reality. Everything around them is just super dumb. Yes. For me, a fight needs to be able to flow smoothly. I like choreography that I can follow and not be confused. For example, 2D CGT specifically became very difficult to follow fight scenes, and it seems like a cluttered mess at times. I also need dialogue between the fighters. I like being able to peek into the brains of the character and to see what they are thinking and how they strategize. Another poor job of this was Sukuna versus Gojo. Well, I did like the commentary aspect from the Jujutsu sorcerers who were watching the battle. We didn't get a chance to see Gojo and Sukuna challenge their own thought processes because of the lack of dialogue between the two. I like less talking, personally. I don't even think that fight is bad, honestly. I still think the best fight is the one with Mahito and what's the lightning guy's name again? Kashimo and Hikari. I think that's the best 1v1. Personally, seeing their ideals clash and challenge because it gives more depth and makes a fight stand out a lot more. Fight choreography and good art animation can only do so much for me. Another thing too would be stakes, whether it could change the plot or it impacts the characters moving on. It depends on the type of fight. Depends on the type of fight and what it means for the character's relationship. Let's say a fight happens between two characters, but both characters are friends. Let's say the audience knows the main character is stronger than their friend. We know who's going to win, but that's not what makes the fight good. It's the fact that they maybe agree with the character's friends more than the main character. We can empathize, even though we know they ultimately will lose. I think it. I think it heavily. I think it heavy depends. I think it heavy depends on the theme. You guys are some. Like I'm sure not everyone here is an English first speaker, but I swear y'all are making me look like I can't read sometimes because I have to add words or fix sentences in my head. Like I swear I'm losing my mind sometimes. But anyways, I think it heavily depends on the themes the author is trying to convey. Are the characters friends? Are they sworn enemies? Or do they have a difference of morals? Please proofread your comments. I, I'm about to say this today. Please proofread. I'm tired of reading shit and having to like decipher with Morse code and all kinds of shit sometimes. I'm tired. If you're not a native English speaker, like it's not your first language, fair game. Different story. I'm not mad at y'all. For you niggas who speak English first, that's your first language. I'm looking at y'all. Let's take Caliban for instance. He's not evil, not in the way White is evil, or Karaka, or even Lopobia Ren. Caliban thinks he's is morally wrong, and the FUG is an immoral, chaotic force trying to destroy the natural order of the tower. So if Bam fights Caliban, it's not because he's evil, it's because their moralities are incompatible. White is pure evil, but even White has his shades of gray, no matter how twisted he may be. Not maybe, may be. Two words. I like fights where the people that are fighting are not evil and have a completely different ideals. A great example of this is Doctor Stone. The main character wants to save the world and everyone in it, while the villain is what we would call a communist and only wants to save the children so he can have his perfect utopia. Sorry that was a bit on off a tangent. The best part of Doctor Stone is the nigga who had made the gun. Willie Martinez says, "For me, I need to have a link between two characters and have their ideas clash and their 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 beliefs. Try not to put many extreme like what they did for Naruto and Sasuke. I think sports do a really good job, and like Ice Shield did. Okay, I'm more refresher to see if you guys commented while I was streaming, just to see. Sometimes y'all do that, but if not, we'll move on to the thing. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Oh yeah. Hashimo Hakari also used location well. Yes, that was fun with the ship, the shipping containers, and they volleyed it back and forth, and then Hakari moving his domain expansion to make him go over the water to expend all his curse energy. That was really good. I actually did it like I told you guys. I have to watch the anime episode. I've seen the screenshots, but after watching it with my friend and catching back up and kind of rereading it, I have a much better understanding and a bigger appreciation for the JJK. I think it's better than I let it seem. I'm not as far as some people are, but it's a lot better than I initially gave it credit for. Even post Shibuya. It's not perfect, but yeah. I do agree with that. Smart characters written by smart people feel actually smart with others. It's like the intellect is just a plot device, if that makes sense. I agree. Please reflect on your comments. Let me write in Japanese instead. Go ahead. I'll try. I'll try to read it. Okay. Tactics. Now, can I ask you guys a question before I answer this? Because this is something that I feel like I've been on an island by myself for a long time. What makes a battle particularly tactical in your opinion? Like, oh, this battle had like two or more combatants that were using a lot of strategy to win. How does that look to you? How does that play out? Give me some examples. I don't care if it's a video game, manga, anime, comic, movie. Give me some examples. I wanna pick y'all brain on this a little bit because I'm very intrigued by this. I might make this its own little mini topic itself. But yeah, kind of off topic, but thinking about how you can have a great build up to the fight even when there's no build up between the fighters or any high emotional stakes between two of them. Just like how two characters are built up separately, like how both characters may be built up as powerful and see them clash is dope. I don't think they necessarily. I think that makes sense. They don't necessarily have to have like beef or history with one another. Um, yeah. I'm trying to think. Like I wish I read more Ipo to know this, but one thing that I understand about Ipo is that they built up like the promo for both fighters to be really well. Sometimes I don't know if sometimes I'm guessing maybe sometimes the fighters don't know each other. It's nothing personal. It's just a business, but it's still hype because yo, this guy came from this region, has been working on his craft, and he got to this level, and this guy did something similar in his own right, and now they're on a trajectory. Or this guy's been the champ, the top dog, and this guy's been working his way up, and now it's finally his chance. But there's no ill will or beef. It's just the nature of the beast and how the business goes. I could be wrong though. I've only read like 100 and something of Ippo though. I don't need theme and morality punching. It can be great while having two raw characters with big personalities fighting is enough. To me, it's how you bend the rules and set up the story without breaking it. When characters are using most of their abilities and thinking out the box to beat each other, like how character A can think of beating character B when his ability is countered by him. Okay. Okay. The Senda versus Ippo Part 1 is a perfect example. Okay. There you go. Because the reason that I asked that question is I believe that for some reason people only this is the majority of people, not everybody. Some of you guys are in here are quite intelligent. And you probably don't think this, but when both characters actually use tactics, it is not just one character using tactics while the other reacts. It's simply carrying out a specific strategy to win. I don't know how else to put it. My question is essentially, does it have to be spelled out in front of you verbally, not verbally, in a text manner for it to be tactical? Can a fight be can it be a high level intellectual fight with very to no words being spoken? Is essentially what I'm asking. Or does it have to be like, oh, he activated his domain expansion in 0.2 seconds, but UG was just 0.seconds faster. Do you think put up a simple like that? To me, it does not make a fight tactical because you have to spell out every fucking thing that's happening. I actually find it annoying sometimes where it's like, well, he's primarily right-handed. He usually like it's like, okay, I understand. I think sometimes getting a glimpse into what they're thinking is dope and good. You can do that. That's awesome. But it's why I don't really respect Tagashi. I don't think him pouring out. Well, you see, last time I saw Naya, he was wearing red, and he said he was a blood. But now that I see him, he's sitting there in blue. But why would he wear blue? And what was he talking about purple? Is it because red and blue meets purple? And then he takes 2 pages to say, I think this nigga is sneaky. I don't trust him. That's impressive? Why? That's fucking garbage. I guess using things outside physical abilities to get the upper hand, but something like a boxing match has a lot of strategy involved, but people don't tend to view that as tactics. I guess the portrayal of the fight or getting the thoughts of the participants. Yes, it could be tactical without verbal explanation, though it's rare to see. Yes. Is the writer good enough visual storyteller? Afa. Definitely yes, but I personally admit I'm not the most comprehensive guy, so I need some dialogue. Samurai Jack has good tactical fights without any words. That's what I was gonna bring up. And I'd actually argue there's sequences in JJK where they don't really say much, and I'm like, that was very fucking smart. Mahito was very good at this, right? So imagine, I think it's called Idols. I can't remember what it's called. Idol Transfiguration something. He did this shit where he make a big human mouth, and Yuji like stopped it, and Yuji was like, and obviously he's also psychologically torturing him, and then Mahito just comes out its mouth and bonks him in the head. Now, you know what he could have done? First, I'm going to use my idol transformation and I'm going to go inside his mouth. And then Yuji, who will be psychologically warped by the fact that the human is coming towards him, won't immediately attack. And then, while he's a little distracted, I'm going to come out the mouth and I'm going to sock him in the face. I got all of that without him having to fucking say it, is what I'm saying. So many fights get downplayed for how smart they are because they aren't babbling every single thought they have in their mind. And it's like, I noticed that every time I come here, you turn this way. You must have hurt your ankle. Like you don't have to do all that. If you're a good visual storyteller and you have a grasp of what you're doing, you can do that without having to literally spell it out. And that's the one thing about tactics that I think a lot of people overlook. Sasuke using Naruto's hand jutsu to make a sign is more impressive than any tactic in Hunter x Hunter. That was raw, all things considered. Yeah, when he's smacking them up and he used that was raw. But yeah, that's the main thing I wanted to ask. Whether it's video game form, a movie, or something like, can you discern when something was just incredibly intelligent or like the main strategy a character is using without needing them to spell it out? Like, okay, this guy's obviously rush down.
Why is he rushed down? Oh, I understand why he was rushed down, because he was afraid that if this turned into a battle of attrition, he'd lose. So instead of having a long, drawn out fight, he's going as hard as he can to end it quickly. There's so many comics and things that I've seen that do that well without it being, okay, well, this guy's got a lot of stamina. His energy refers really high, meaning outlast me. Looks like I'll have to do rush down and keep piling on my attacks over and over, giving him no opening in order to win this fight. I don't want to see that shit. Get that shit the fuck away from me. That's all I'm saying. All right. I'm satisfied. I just want to talk about that a little bit. I am interested in hearing how World Trigger specifically is super tactical though. I'd like to know that. I don't read it, so I need someone to give me some examples and some scenes or, a sequence. Would y'all consider creativity to be tactics or adaptability? Creativity, yeah, creativity. Like if you're creative and you're quick witted, you're like fleet-footed, quick-witted, and you can like think on the spot and come up with really inventive ways to get out of stuff. Yes, I think that it's not. I don't know if it's necessarily like intellect, but it comes out. It comes across really well, and it's some sort of mental fortitude. I'll put it that way. Some type of mental fortitude. I think that's fair. Like, I used to get credit for this because I don't premeditate my moves when I'm dribbling in football, where it's like, oh wow, did you ever practice that? I'm like, no, but like because they kind of came at me this way, I thought they wouldn't think of me actually using that angle, so I just tried it and it worked. Like see this thinking on the spot sometimes. I wouldn't be like I was 100% big brain. I'm like, the defender is coming to me from the right and the left. I have the speed to break through, but I want to save my stamina for the like. I'm not doing all that. I have to think on the spot, right? It's all a lot of it's instinct. There were some pretty good fights in Kick and Ashura. I never really watched that. That gives the same results as being tactical. You can definitely have fights with little to no dialogue, but it depends on the stuff surrounding the fight. If the author is able to show throughout the series why doing something are impressive or how people will normally fight, then a fight that happens and a character that takes what should be the standard and flips it on its head, you can tell it's tactical and impressive without dialogue being needed. That's a very good point. So basically, the better the context we get on what we get going into the fight of what's the standards and tactics, then it's easy to tell when someone is actually being tactically superior. The only small pushback I'll have is sometimes authors will just break the rules for the sake of breaking the rules to be like, oh, they're so different. I somewhat think he did this a bit with Sukuna and Gojo, Gege, where it's like every second, like that's impossible. No one could do that. Yeah, it's like okay, like I get it. Like they're supposed to be the peak of jujutsu. You're like, all right, man. Like, don't shit on all the established rules unless they were never concrete rules in the first place. Um, just to showcase how intelligent they are. But that's a good point. Find it funny Tagashi balances are in dialogue with the fights with Yu Hakusho like Hunter x Hunter because I think he's using his words as a crutch to not draw. Like that's the thing that I've been saying for a long time. It's why Corolla versus Hisoka didn't move me. I'm like, you're bobbing and weaving out the crowd, talking a bunch of nonsense. I fucking hate this fight. This shit's trash. Um, again, being in all transparency, like Tagashi's not the worst. Like he really isn't. If I'm being honest and being fair, and Yu Hakusho is fine, but I just think it gets way too much credit, and I don't understand why. You mean to tell me you don't have a blue lock monologues, Naya? I don't have the time. I'm doing that puzzle shit, bro. I do. Through repetition, muscle memory, and building up my IQ from studying the game, I just know where to be, what to do. It's like I tell people, I never had a striker's mindset, which is why I was never at the right place at the right time to score a lot of the times. But I knew where to do. I was good at ball distribution and defense, and like burning people on the wing. Like that was my thing. So I think you have to train certain things like that. All right, let me read some of these comments. There was one comment that I really liked that I wanted to read. I wanted to put it in the video, but after I decided to do what I did, I decided not to do it. But yeah. So risk and stakes, really cool abilities and smart tactics. Epic music. Music was something that I think is very important to talk about when you're watching a movie or something animated in a video game. I think music is fair. The reason that you hardly ever hear me speak about music and stuff is because I have no idea how to eloquently talk about music in conjunction with like literature beyond I like the song. The song fit the fight. I thought the ambient track went well with the type of thing that was happening. I have no bag deeper than that. Like I like the song. It was pretty epic. It made the fight seem cooler. I can't be like, and then here when the trumpet swells, you could tell it's about like the despair in his heart. Well, like I don't have that ability. This is not in my toolbox. So when it comes to music, I usually leave it alone. But I think music is very important part of enjoying a lot of fights. I think that's fair. Instincts versus tactics will always be elite. Yes. Side note, I hate how talented people are portrayed in a lot of shows. To me, talented isn't about breaking the rules. I think I agree with that. It's the repetition of saying tactics that's filling up the words. Nen beast and more complex Nen abilities. Sure, don't hammer it in my head like I get it already. Damn. I also don't like when something has a generally easy explanation and they over explain it, in my opinion. Einstein understood physics, he didn't break it. Jordan became had an insane first step. He didn't stop time. That isn't talent. Fair enough. Shout out to Michael Jordan. I'm gonna come back to my favorite answer after. Who's fighting equals investment, stakes, weight. It can be personal, not necessarily fair to the world or plot. Ebb and flow. Ebb and flow. Come on, East. He meant ebb and flow. EBB space AND space FLOW. Oh my god, I did not know what that meant for a second. Outcome the unpredictability, not the standard. Wait, outcome the unpredictability and the standard one round equals winner equals round three. Not knowing who's going to win makes that much more thrilling. Okay. Anyone really love fights where the characters are best friends and siblings. They know the entire fighting style, like King Toki versus Takasugi. Yes, I do actually like some fights where the friends or siblings or whatever are fighting, but there's no ill will. It's like kind of Goku and Krillin, like yeah, like let's do this. We both trained under Master Roshi. Like I like that sometimes too. Like I don't think it always has to be like, you beat me. No, I have to leave the dojo and go on my own journey. Like you don't have to be always do all that. Fight choreography and the expression. I like being able to see. Did my mouse just die? Wow. That's lost where I was at. I'm sorry, y'all. Ah. There you go. Fight choreography and the expression. I like being able to almost see and feel the fight through the character's eyes. My favorite fights are the near silent ones where all they can hear is impact, 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 as you can infer the entire battle through their actions alone. Well said. Stakes, personal investment in the characters, choreography, visuals, blood, lol, a satisfactory conclusion and impact on the plot moving forward, visual clarity of the fight, character motivation, fight conclusion, fight choreography, my Trinity brother. Flow of the fight, like when Naruto versus Sasuke both times picks up in the pace and intensity as the fight goes. I don't like. I'm gonna rewatch round two or maybe reread round two. I don't like that fight that much. I stand by the round one of Naruto versus Sasuke. That's one of the greatest fights I've ever seen, and I stand by that to this day. Round one was insanely hype. I love that moment in Naruto. Using established moves in more unique ways, emotions behind the conflict will always make the fights uh if they hit right. Also, the conclusion the fight needs to land. Characters got to be invested themselves. Visuals and choreography should operate within the defined limits of what a character can do for the most part. No Tagashi level exposition, please. If I got to read that much, I can just change mediums. Facts. I like looking at their demeanor, their face, body language, determination, seeing how much their opinion or beliefs mean to them. Okay. How can you not love it? He punched Sasuke in the mouth with that bink bink, boop 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 boop, like that nigga is floating in the air. You combo him like a ninja slug. I say, yo, nah, that shit was raw, man. That's a good fight. The last one I didn't really like, but there was moments like again when they both jumped down as like when they're kids to what they are now, and then when Sasuke used his arm to like do jutsu on Naruto's arm, that was cold. But yeah, within the bounds of the power system, so not breaking your established rules necessarily. Positional thinking, like the swordsman versus martial arts, thinking accordingly, sometimes thinking out the box, showing their personality and characters through their fighting style and abilities.
I like that a lot too. Some beefing and shit talking. Shit talking is something I didn't think of because I should have probably talked about sometimes a character who could eloquently talk shit is it enhances what the fight means for each character moving forward. Sometimes it's a mix of the theme itself, whether I like the characters fighting, the flow of the fight, the art style, amongst other things. Hold on. Yeah. Intellect, battle IQ, use of powers, and setting up your next move. Great choreography, like with Gojo and Sukuna, like Naruto, etc. Use of power of the system. Basically, I hate the turn-based fights in One Piece. Feels like a Pokemon game. Sakamoto is another series with good fights. Does One Piece have Is One Piece like that? I don't even know One Piece is like that. I don't even know. This is the last one I think. Maximizing paneling. The panel should complement and punch or kicks any punch or kicks made and leads to the next panel. A smooth transition versus impact shots. I enjoy watching ideas clash and a lesson being taken away from the conflict. Choreography should be detailed, and I wanted to make a fist win and throw the punch before it actually connects, or the things that make Naruto choreography goaded to me, and the emotions displayed by each character. Everything take a back seat because the character themselves are focused on the conflict, so there needs to be stakes, easily digestible enough, underlying tones to propel the characters forward. This is the comment that I wanted to read last. And I really like Sakamoto Days, by the way. To me, it's usually when the manga focuses on the fight itself. No character thought bubbles, just the characters being so confident in their fight that we do not need to know their thoughts. Sakamoto Days does this a lot, and it makes that scene much more impactful. Yes. Look how gas this is. Fuck all that talking. Put up your fucking dukes, nigga. Come on, man. God, I gotta catch up. I gotta catch back up. Claymore fights are actually underrated. I agree, but Claymore has one of my favorite moments with the lion dude from the north. I can't remember what it was called. That whole massacre where we lost a lot of them. That was really good. But yeah, man. Yeah, that's all the comments. I got through everything. But yeah, I enjoyed this. I want to do this more often. Like we'll pick a topic or a series or something. I'll make the video essay and then we'll come talk about it after the fact, after the video is out. I think it's very good. So but yes. Definitely though. If you haven't watched my latest video, what makes a fight scene good, go run that up for me. Like, comment, all of that. The likes and watch time is good. Just not doesn't have the views that I need yet. I'm trying to see that go north of 1K. What about large scale battles like Red Storm War Scenes? I wish I remembered Red Storm well. It's so funny because me and Vince talked about this last night, and I'm like, I don't remember shit about Red Storm. I remember a goddamn thing. But I can't speak on larger wars and larger battles. I think one of the things you have to do is you have to have a sense of flow and focus because in a large scale war, a lot of the main characters will be spread around different factions. So maybe like to use Kingdom for an example, maybe Shin is over here. Um, wow, what's the girl's name? I never forget her name. The one that goes ton ton ton. She has a sword with the bandana. I always forget her name. What's her name again? Kyokai. Kyokai. She might be over there. You know what I'm saying? Like being able to switch at the right times and or maybe have those fights converge. So like, oh, maybe Shin is better at dealing with this opponent, you're better at dealing with that opponent. Like, again, execution matters, how you do it. But in a large scale battle, one thing that I like to see is them knowing when to switch to different parts and how long to focus on it. That's not easy to do, and every series is different, every moment's different, but I like that too. And then how the winning and losing of one small conflict in the greater fight has to have an effect. So it's a huge war, right? And let's say you had like a horse battalion section and they got wiped out. Oh, now maybe you can't disseminate information or get the places fast because now everybody's on foot or by carriage or something. So those are the type of things that I look for. You talking about the battle right before the time skip? What battle? Oh yes, yes, yes. With oh, you're talking about Claymore. Sorry. I'm caught up with Claymore. Yes. With the guy Leo, whatever. Yeah, I haven't read Claymore since like 2008. So cut me some slack. I did finish it though, but like yeah. That was insane. I remember that. But that was one of the darker Shonen Jump mangas that I read that genuinely kind of surprised me. I was like, oh shit, it's like that. You know, like it's like that for real. So yeah. Shout out to that shit though. You're currently doing your Red Storm reread. I don't even know if I care to reread it, but yeah. I think Monstress's War did a pretty good job with that, and especially like when some of the things were resolved, and then it's like with Tuya and Micah, and like getting into the heart of that conflict, I think was well. I actually think Marineford, all things considered, I have my issues. It's a pretty good war. It's a it's a reserved war. It's a tickle butt war as far as I'm concerned, but I don't think Marineford is like bad. I think the Onigashima raid is fucking dick. Awful. Cock in a sock. Fouls in the palace. Dick on a stick. Garbage. No, that did not move me. That was not good. Um, I totally forgot what I was about to say. That's crazy. Red Storm reread, fight for the time skip. The Ricochet goes crazy. It cut up with the Sakamoto days and realized I love sniper battles. Yeah, sniper battles are pretty cool too. Yeah, gun battles can be cool. Positioning, Ricochet, looking at shadows, win stuff. The first time I would argue I really experienced that though was me playing Metal Gear Solid. Me playing Metal Gear. So I actually agree with that. That's very well said. Chode in the road, tragic. Yes, Chode in the road. Balls on the walls, fouls in the palace, cock in a sock, dick on a stick. What are the words for penis on a Venus? I don't know. So yeah. Um. Okay, Chode in the road. I like that one. I think that was that everything. I had something so important to say, and I totally lost that train of thought. It had to do with fights. That's crazy. Come on, Naya, rack your brain, brother. Come on, man. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, fights be raw. Not a single brain cell was present in the room when Oda and the assistants made all those Onigashima chapters. Yeah, I also think he overreact. He overdoes people reacting to what these niggas are doing. Not everything we want. So, Luffy, like you don't have to keep doing that. Like I don't. I really think he's cooked. I really do. I think within the next 3 years I'll be with One Piece where I was eventually with like Naruto and Bleach. I've spent too much time and emotions on this series. I will see it to the end, but I no longer care. I hope I'm wrong though. I'm fighting. I'm hanging in there. Like Tower God might be too late. So yeah. So yeah. It is unfortunate that a lot of authors I don't know. I feel like Oda wants to do something else with his life. I again, does anyone agree that Dressrosa was his biggest mistake because that shit was way too damn long? Like if he had shortened Dressrosa, maybe he wouldn't be here. What's on the screen? Oh no, because that was like 102 chapters, and that fucked with the efficiency of the story altogether from top to bottom. Imagine if Dressrosa was like maybe 70 chapters. I think things would have been spread out better. Also, he has to stop doing that shit where like he wants to make like chapter 1,000 a big deal, so he like has Luffy taking his time to get to the rooftop. But after the fact, he gets to the rooftop or even higher than that, next to immediately. Like that's super annoying. It's funny because the manga SIU would have been a crazy good compliment like only like 5 years ago. Yes, it would have. Yeah, he got over ambitious. He needs to trim the fat, man. I don't think it's too. I really, it is weird because I really don't think it's too late for One Piece. Tower God even I like. I don't know. Fuck it. I don't feel like talking about that shit. That shit. Making the warlords in general mess them up, but combining arcs is pretty much wide quality. I forgot he did that too. I blocked up the entire portion of Punk House and Dressrosa anime wise. That's fair. That's fair. But yeah, strategies, artwork, artistry, choreography, penning. What's some of the best? What are some of your guys' favorite fights in general? Um, let's stay anime and manga first. Then we'll go into like movies, maybe cartoons. Um, this one's not a secret. Rob Lucci versus Luffy is my all-time favorite manga and anime fight. Um,
I don't love it as much in the OVA remake, like the episode of Mary and his friends. Even though it's cleaner, I actually think that like the older animation style looks a lot better and is a lot better. And I love it in the manga. I think they're really good in both of those. Um, yeah, what's another fight I really like? I brought this up in the video. I'm not a Toriko fan, but Starjun versus Toriko was a really good fight. So is it Tommy Road versus Sunny with the Satan hair? That was gas. That nigga ate him. Jolene versus Survivor. Yes. Jolene versus Vivanio Westwood. I absolutely love that. Dio and Jotaro. That's a classic. Wamu versus Joseph. I love that one. My favorite part 4 fight. I want to think about that one. I'm with you, Livers Lucci. It's my favorite of all time. Yeah. That's like I could still go back and really enjoy that. Like so much emotional investment, emotional stakes, the build up, initially losing to him, the new form, them even when he wins, they still have to escape because of the Buster call. It was really good. It was so amazing. I think yeah, blah. I also think Oda cares a lot about hype, unexpected moments at the detriment of his series. Like he wants a crazy reveal even if there's no build up beforehand. I think I could agree with that. I like Gintoki versus Takasuki, especially in the anime. That's a good one. Rock Lee versus Gara, fair enough. It's a classic, but yeah. We're talking about Char and Dio. Wow, that's crazy. How am I drawing a blank? I gotta do top 30 fights. I'm looking at a Fire Force thing on my screen, but why can't I remember any specific Fire Force fights? I feel like Shinra versus that dude with the stars in his eye was pretty gas. When Benny Maru's on screen is pretty gas. Oh, Mifune versus Black Star. That 3 round hype. Oh my god, Mifune with infinite one source. That was fucking gas. Yes, that's one of my favorites. I'm then I was looking around my room, bro. I need help. Gintama. Let's get some good ones. In One Piece, I'll also add Das Bone versus Zoro. That's a good fight. Oh yeah, Rindaman. What the fuck's wrong with me? Rindaman versus Toma versus Accelerator, absolutely. Rindaman versus Boya Part 1 and 2, but 2 is really good. Um, my favorite fights are Naruto versus Pain, Sasuke versus Itachi, Saitama versus Godo. The last battle against Mockingbird and Deadman Wonderland. Those are the first that come to mind. Arthur versus Dragon. That was really dope. Trilogy of Greatness. Goku versus Frieza is a classic. Absolutely agree. Diablo versus Riseto is one of my favorite JoJo fights. I agree. That's a secretly sleeper fight. We can just do this. This might help me. So we're done with this portion of the video, so we can just go to my vlog. And going through my favorites might help me remember something. Okay, you did Maggie. Favorite fights in Maggie. I'm not gonna remember anything off the top of my head like that. Fuck, that's crazy. Actually, Ryoga Hibiki versus Ranma Tome when he had that Shishi Shodan attack was actually pretty gas. Araki's him. Anyway, let's see. We'll talk about our favorite sports matches in a second. I can't remember anything specific in Tepu. When Roberta was going crazy, the maid, that was amazing. For Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicles, it would be clone Lee Shaoran versus the real Lee Shaoran. And when they went to that place with the fucking vampire brothers, that was incredible. And Fai and Kurogane, oh, what the fuck is that guy's name? This has fights that I like though. Beelzebub, Tojo versus Olga. Yeah, that's gas. That's gas. I like Takamiya versus Olga a lot. Toga versus Nasu. The Fuji one was the last one was whack, but Takamiya one was really good. Fuji, not Fuji. What's his best friend's name? We'll put the thing in his nose. When he had the behemoth and he was going crazy, that was super gas. Piccolo versus 17. Hakurio 2v1. Yes. Olga versus Tojo for the cultured. Yes, it is. I like how I hear Oda has different places where periods where everything is mystery to them. So bad for world building and giving satisfying reveals. Agreed. I got to see Tomo vs. Accelerator animated. I think I've come to realize that reading fights in a novel will never stack up. I think only the absolute best of the best storytellers can make a fight play out in your mind amazingly with words. But yeah, read it and watch it. See how you feel. Daiwa Gelder. I mean, seeing Torine go crazy, fuck up those people when she was on the little scalper, that was cool. Was it Maki? I can't remember her name. The girl with the nunchucks and like Chinese martial artist. She has some good ones. I gotta remember that. Bradley versus everyone, just how he tried their best to beat him. He still almost won. Yo, 3 versus 1 against Ren, Horo, and Choco Love. Furichi's his name. There we go. Thank you. I feel like there's a Blade of the Immortal fights. My memory stinks. I can't remember that. I think Maki had some good fights. Notsui, whatever his name was, whatever. Reborn, Xandis versus Suna. I actually agree with Sibi. Suna doesn't have any bad fights. Suna versus Imetsu, Byakudan, Genshiki, whatever, the Phantom Knight, all really good. I like I don't like the ending, but I like Squall Yamamoto. Oddly enough, Ryohei has one of the best 1v1s, if not the best 1v1, when he fights Aoba, the leaf user of the earth. That was fucking incredible. Reborn versus Bermuda. I don't care. It's gas. The 4-way fight with Zanzi's Hibari, Fawn, and Squalo. I don't care. That shit was gas. Mukuro coming and packing up Viper was crazy. I couldn't believe it. Blood. It was mental blood. Couldn't believe that blood. Smoker versus Virgo in the anime solid? Yes, it is. Nothing groundbreaking, but it was solid. It was good. It was good. Mugen versus Sarah in Samurai Champloo. I agree with that. That's a good one. Again, I'll come back to sports. I can't remember anything off the top of my head with Maggie, but I know Maggie has good fights I like. This is romance. I talked about some of the fights in here. Romance, fucking romance. We'll come back to sports. Ooh, Golden Gallery. Let me think, yo. Sugimoto has some fights. He got some fights that I like. Let me think about that one. What was that old guy who used to be like a manslayer on some Kenshin shit, and he was seeing shit like he'd see things he saw in the past. I can't remember his name. This has good ones, but I can't draw anything. But Obata, I think his name is. He be sniping. He got this has good fights. This has good fights and good action sequences, but I can't remember anything specific. I don't know why. But shout out to the immortal Sugimoto. We keep going. No, yeah, this has good fights. We talked about Rindaman. Boya versus the Beto brothers versus the Manji Empire. Rindaman twice. Him versus Ryushin was good. This has so many good fights. What's my favorite? I'm gonna be Benny Zakura because you know what I'm saying. Ooh, Badaka box. Everybody versus Misogi, Kumagawa. I actually like the fight where she fights the little the short nigga, the kid. He like just grabs her yiddy. I like that fight. Every Naza fight when she fought the other girl and pieced her up, real ice fire, fuck Shoto. Yeah. 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 Um fuck, that's all I got. I'm drawing a blank. I talked about One Piece already. Let's see what's in my anime now. I can't think of anything here. That's music. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. That's not bullshit, but you know what I mean. They're not fighting like that. Yeah, I mean her versus the fucking whatever this thing is. That was cool. Some of the mecha fights here were fine. I actually do like some of the action sequences of this, but I can't remember anything specific. Nah, whatever. Project Aiko. Aiko versus Biko never gets old. I don't care about this. I can't remember anything. Yeah, this fight. I posted the fight that I like. I love this. This was gas. Railgun. So we talked about Toma Accelerator, but Misaka versus the Melt down there with the girl with the long hair who has like the green like firing abilities. I like that fight a lot. This has some good ones. Toba Girl Login it's the anti spiral versus the humans. That's the best fight to me. That was really good. Kogami versus Makishima. That's the best one. Yeah. Best fights in Monogatari. His shot versus Koyomi and Koyomi Vamp. The Rainy Devil in Bakemonogatari when he beats up when Kanbaru beats up Koyomi is pretty good, but it's pretty one sided. But it's nice to look at. I don't really care about the episode in Guillotine Cutter fights all that much. There's not that much combat in this series, but Shinobu a little bit, which is the backflips against a Black Hanekawa. That was cool. That was cool. That was cool. That was cool. Yeah. Yeah. Gintoki versus Takasugi is a man fucking a bear fight. It might be. Uyashima versus the bear. Mugen versus Sarah. The Seaman Slinger fight was generational. No, it wasn't. That's the most unhinged thing he did. I'd rather see bestiality. Contra versus the monkey dude. Cowboy Bebop fight. Shot the Spike versus Vicious. That's a good one. But yeah, there's a lot of good fights, man. How about some of our favorite sporting fights or sporting matchups for any sports anime manga? Because I brought it up in the video too, so I think it's silly to speak about it. Um, I'll start off with Fuji versus Akaya. I love that fight. Or sorry, that match. I got stopped. I actually this might be a hot take. I think Yosin versus Sadine is the best match in Kuroko no Basket. Um, that's with Murisaki Bara Kagami's friend. Well, Taiga. Um, I think that's the best match in the whole show. Honestly, I do. I like that one. Murisaki Bara reminds me of me. Karisona versus Nekoma. Um, Ina Shiro versus Sato. I almost said Sadie. Sato. Sorry. Marasuda versus Inarizaki. I need more. I need more. Wow. What are some of my favorite matches in Aoashi? The one with the fuck. I remember the team names. I God damn it. I'm so mad at myself. But it was the one with the black dudes, and they were like grateful because because like those guys took him in. But I like any Yakushi match. Yakushi go stupid, dumb. They the goat. Fuck with Raishi, the greatest. Joe versus Rikishi. That's good. I heard that what's his name from Ippo has like no bad fights. Hakamura. I still like the first team the best, by the way. With the first team, with the 30 years, this is still the best. This is still to me their best team. If only you could get that bum Tanba not pitching. Tanba, did Tanba move anybody? I don't fuck with him. I never fuck with Tanba. He stinks. I don't rate him. I don't like that guy. Prince of Tennis. Fuji versus the Bible tennis guy was amazing. Ryoma versus Sanada is good. Tezuka Sanada is great. Golden Pair versus those guys from fucking Atobi school. Tobe versus goddamn Tezuka was incredible. I like the fight with the dude with the white hair. Fuck is his name? Akutsu and Ryoma. He nigga just hits you. I like him. Yoma versus Kisuke was cool too. Cool too. That was good. That was good. That's what are the school names again? Toho Gakuen versus I don't remember Kisuke's school name, but Toho versus them. Yeah. Uso versus Okata was so gas, son. I don't remember anything from fucking what you call it, Blue Lock. So I'm not gonna try or Slam Dunk, so I won't try. Sato versus Ichidai third act. See, semifinal might be the greatest match in sports manga. I gotta think about it. I'm not mad at that, and I think that guy's an under that their ace is a completely underrated pitcher. He's really nice. When they fought Mukai, clans whatever the pitcher that I like that was super dope. Yuma versus Kisuke is the Kobe versus LeBron match we wanted. Who's Kobe? Kobe can't be a Yomine because Kobe's a workout fiend. He ain't saying that only me could beat me. He in the gym at fucking 3 a.m. neglecting not neglecting his family. I'm kidding, but yeah. That was Summer's best showing, and it moved me so much. Man, it was so nice to finally like see him in like. Finally felt like Samura no ace. Like I was tired of Furia no ace or pitcher relay no ace. Like no, when did Samura take the mound and prove that all the faith and training and everything everyone put in him and his awkward, whatever southpaw yada yada was gonna come through, and it finally came through. I was so fucking happy, bro. I was so tired of him fucking up. You see Furia? You're the relief pitcher, bitch. He's still a better baseball player though. Rookies gonna rookies. Jesus, I haven't seen red rookies since like 2000 and what? Oh, rookies. Rookies get a match that's cool with both teams being delinquents. We know who would pass the ball in clutch time for it to be bricked. He said, Ione's like, that was weak. You tried to pass the ball, pussy. Low-key, Kobe would hit Ione. I believe it. Like, you don't train, don't do nothing. That's some Shaq shit. Yeah. 100% they'll clash. How about unconventional battles from the standpoint it might not be a fight. It could be a fight, but a fight done in an interesting way. Like, you have any like gambling matches you like, chess, a cook-off, whether it's Food Wars, Nobunagano Chef, Bambino, or something. An intellectual battle with cerebral horsepower, a la L versus Light, Lelouch versus I don't know the world. Like you got any secret hitters, like some cheeky ones in your back pocket in your arsenal or nah? L versus Light will always be one of my favorite battle of intellectuals. I liked it a lot. Cardi versus the damn Shinko machine. Um, yo, what the fuck? Is that all I got? Not on the top of my head. The toilet wash Shitama, sandpaper, real tactics. Um, I kind of like the episode of Adventure Time where they're playing that one game, Finn and Jake. But does that count? The card game? I guess Yu-Gi-Oh counts. Does Pokemon count? Did I overlook battles where like you summon a thing to fight for you? Did I overlook that? Shit, I'm gonna overlook that. Now that I'm thinking about it, I might have. Actually, no, I don't talk about Pokemon though, so fuck that. But yeah, Light versus L. Yeah, I brought that up. That's the first one that came to mind. Um, that might be all we got, bro. Um, um, Okabe versus Time. Steins Gate. Him versus Time. Name a more iconic battle. What about some iconic rivalries? Oh, that would be a great discussion. Like the most iconic rivalries. But before I do that, how about some anime fights and like movie fights or like cartoon fights? Cartoon immediately comes to mind is Gods and Monsters, the version of Superman that fought the metallic thing, and then he brought him in the lava. That was dope. Superman versus Doomsday, the new 52 one, I liked a lot more than the Death of Superman from 2007. I think without Sam Liu and whatnot, I like that one a lot. I really like the warehouse scene in BVS with Batman. That goes crazy. Bucky versus Captain America on the fucking highway is absolutely fucking god tier. I don't know. Zuko versus Azula. Oh, that's a great one. Korra versus Zahir. I still like Korra versus Unalaq slash Vatu. Was it Ravwan Vatu? Yeah, I still like that too, but didn't bother me. Super versus that Australian dude from movies is Kill Bill. Every Kill Bill action scene. Kill Bill is a movie that I liked. Mark versus Conquest. I was tweaking reading that with the TV. Yes, sir. And that's she versus Lua Lang from Sword of the Stranger. Oh my god, that's a great one. I can't believe I didn't think to put that in the video. No, I did. But by the time the video was done, I forgot to use it. No, it was there. I forgot. Yes. My favorite duel in all of Yu-Gi-Oh was Yusei versus Z1. It's supposed to be like he's the one. Yeah, I am the one. I am the one. Me, I am so. I don't. I never really liked Yu-Gi-Oh, but you remind me of Beyblade. Fucking Dark Dronzer, Kai versus Tyson. Don't play with me. That was gas, bro. That was sick.
The hit nigga was stealing bit piece, bro. I will always stand by that first season of Beyblade. That shit was gas. So yeah, it was pronounced Zone. Interesting. Um, Ray had one fight with a girl or someone from his old crew, like the Tiger Gang, that was really good. Trigger, Tiger Claw attack. Yeah, I never liked Yu-Gi-Oh though. I never really watched Yu-Gi-Oh. Like I never really got past Battle City. Yeah, I never really got past that. Like Battle City, I don't even think I finished. I know it happens, but I never really finished it. Like Yu-Gi-Oh was very hard for me. I thought it was bullshit. I thought it was fucking ass. All my friends liked it, so I kind of kept up. And I'm like, why am I doing this? It's just trash. Left spinning, Meteo El Drago. I grew up watching the Metal series. Any match with Ryuga was gas. I never really watched the second and third. I watched that random Pegasus series one guy, whatever. One day randomly we was cooked and we was watching some bullshit. We're like, why are you watching this Beyblade series with this fucking Dark Lord nigga, bro? Yeah, Kill Bill's good. Tyson. I'm still spinning. Kai. Not for long. Did you guys ever try to do what Tyson did? Try to get 4 times the speed? Yeah, remember that episode? Hold on. I can't speak on Pokemon. I never watched Pokemon like that either. Digimon I could probably. That nigga went all the way back. He flipped this shit upside down, had a long ripcord, ran, jumped, flipped it over, and let it rip for 4 times the speed. That shit was fucking hilarious. I said, nigga, is that science? The run and jump? Yes, they're gonna jump. Run and jump. It's Ash versus Paul, the Monferno fight everyone likes a lot. Or Infernape. I'm sorry, Infernape. Is that the one everyone likes? Finn getting bitches. Shout out to Finn. Finn the human. Yes, sir. Mordecai getting bitches is better. Yeah, Mordecai's kind of a loser. Yeah. Okay, then I know that. I know that fight then. A lot of people talk about that. I heard Ash finally won, and then like his series ended, and now there's like some new person in Pokemon, in Pocket to Monster. Pocket to the Monster. Hey man, y'all got that over there. You feel me? What's good with this nigga? It's Friday the 13th. No wonder I'm having a good day. That's my lucky day. That is my lucky day. Mm. Me heading to school after playing Call of Duty at 4 a.m. Me heading to. Oh shit, that's hilarious. Bam versus facing a challenge. Danny Phantom versus Dark Danny Phantom. Let's think of some good rivalries like that too. Let's think of some rivalries. I'm trying to think of some. I think I'm gonna do that too. Yeah, cartoons are really good though. I gotta think. I gotta check my. I gotta check a list. See, this is part of the reason why I do this shit. By the way, it helps me keep shit like whatever. Okay, I think I'll wait for this to load. Do I like Qatar versus Hama? Yes, I did. Bloodbending was something that I thought was so fucking cool that I thought should make sense. So I'm so happy they explored it, even though it was a Nickelodeon show. I give them credit. Samurai Raichi is amazing. Dante and Virgil, Goku and Vegeta, Naruto and Sasuke, Toriko and Zebra, Tezuka and Sanada. I don't know. The action sequence with Shaolan Mao was really good. And East to West, Realm has some good fights. Sun Bakery, the Sasha fight, the anime fight's pretty good. When Irina started taking niggas out with sniping them, that was raw in Morning Glories. Empowered has some good shit. Deadly Class, the graduation where they were trying to all try to execute all the rats. And they had to fight for their fucking lives against like the whole school. That was raw. Pretty Deadly has a bunch of good fights. I can't think of any there. This one, it's that fucking pink nigga with the like multiple hands, Goro one. That was pretty good. Deadly Class. I mean, Rat Queen has good ones. Invincible, come on, don't play with me. My favorite Invincible fight is a spoiler for the show, so I'm not gonna say anything. That's good ones. Just they don't really fight like that in here. Tokyo Ghost would be Debbie versus You know what? Let me not spoil that. Scott Pilgrim has good ones. Vegan Todd, go. Della Kane versus her captors. That was raw. Shaolan Mian versus anybody raw. This has a good fight, and then her escaping the facility. How about in Dingy? Oh, how did I forget that? Wuxian versus the wood dude who could steal people's abilities in Legend of Hay. That was incredible. Yusuke and Hay, Kitoki and Sugi. Jack versus the blue dude in Samurai, I forgot his name. Sonic and Shadow, yes. Kenshin and Shishio. Battle Beast and Thrag, that's a good one. Neja, the Neja fight scene with him versus Ao Bing, that was good. My Wenren versus the Beast of Wrath or whatever, that was incredible. You guys need to watch this shit. My guy 7. He's got some good ones. Look at this nigga. He's the GOAT. He's so cold. That's me for real, bro. That's my self insert. That's really me, dog. They be fucking in this. Does fucking count? Is fucking a battle? Is fucking a battle? I feel like Look at some had some good ones. I don't remember it though. Gosu, yes, Gosu's good. Shout out to my girl right here. She has my favorite fights. Actually, no, the sword nigga. So wrong, whatever. He has the best fights. My guy Ethan, Lucky Coin Syndicate. I actually put this these niggas in the video, but I did like their little rivalry, all things considered. This nigga's an assassin, so he be fucking niggas up. Moon Young and Dal had good fights. RBA, I'd go with Shimanda versus that tournament with Shimanda, and she was fighting. I think she was fighting Lars or whatever his name is. Noblesse favorite fight would be any Frankenstein fight. Frankenstein versus what's that one guy from the Union? Oh, that was incredible. But what's the Crown Bell as well? That was good. Our guy, my favorite fight's probably what? I don't know. Mew Love, you the goat, and Ritra, you the goat. And there you go. Mm. Shit, Preacher? I haven't thought about Preacher in a minute. Kenshin Shishio, Battle Beach Thrag, Youngbi got great fights. Yes, Youngbi does too. Yeah, that was fire. Big Man Ting Wen. The Breaker got some great fights. Simi's not home. And Pat got a girlfriend, so all he do is get his ass ate. So he's moving different now. He don't hang with the homies no more. Gus and Griffith, that is actually a very good one. Would you guys consider Obi-Wan and Anakin one? Like that went from good to bad rivalry or not really? Maybe not really. I don't know. Iroh and Ozai probably somewhat count. Ooh, yeah. Virgil and Dante is one of my favorite ones though. Absolutely one of my favorite ones. I never thought about which fight in Kubera is my favorite. Neither have I, because not really a series that I go to for fights. I just appreciate when a good fight happens, so I don't have an answer. But I say something with Ritra maybe. Or some of the new stuff was pretty good. I don't know. Even beginning of season 3 with the Sword of Re, when she was using the slashes, that was pretty gas. I don't have an answer immediately though. I don't have one. Oh, another fight that's really good is a Scanor versus Esterosa, aka Mael. That was great. It was a one-sided beatdown, but that was raw. The Breaker has a good fights. For Big Man Ting, again, try again next Friday. I don't want to tell you. I need Vince, Pat, Lizard, Simi, and me in that bitch. At minimum, us 5. And then I can open up to other people. If we're not there, I'm not doing it. We gotta be ganged up, bro. Gotta be ganged up. It's because Kubera ain't got any raw fights. Wow. Virgil was beating my ass all 2 rounds. Alucard Alexander. Does Vash have a rival from Trigun? I only really seen Stampede, so don't cook me. I guess Million Knives, his brother. I guess Million Knives, right? Luffy.
Zoro versus a sense of direction. Ryoga Hibiki versus a sense of direction. I don't like saying there's a rivalry between Batman and Superman because as far as like my upbringing and coming, those niggas were friends that occasionally when there was a hard line, Batman was a little more ruthless than Kal-El, than Clark, so Clark would never go as far as him sometimes more often than not. But they're fucking friends. So I hate the idea. I hate every time I have to watch something new, they're like mad adversarial. I know it starts that way, but it's mad annoying. Like Bruce and Clark get along. It's so fucking annoying. I don't like when they're like not friends or they're like beefing. It actually pisses me off. The Risogo fight in Gintama. Batman, Superman are bickering family members. Yeah, at best, or like siblings that disagree every once in a while. It's like I don't know. It's very annoying. It actually cheeses me. Uh Sora and Riku not really a rivalry, but fuck it, Riku better. Ross is Batman's rival. Ra's al Ghul. Ra's al Ghul. Does Kirby have any rivals? Does Kirby have any enemies, y'all? You want to know why I said that? I just looked down and seen my amiibo. Link versus Ganondorf, I guess. Or Ganondorf. Would it be Demise, the spirit of the hero, and Hylia constantly reincarnated into whatever? But yeah, Link and Ganon, I guess. Does Meta Knight count? I suppose. I love their hate in the Ace verse. Yeah, that shit's funny. Ace, I love that. I've ever since Ace made like kind of coined the Vayne verse. I'm like, nah, that counts. That's real. That's his own separate universe, so it counts as part of the overall canon. Fuck what they talk about. So yeah, that one guy that turned into a sword. Like, you talking about from Zelda? You talking about Girahim? Girahim and Fee, the darkness sword versus the goddess blade. Rhythm versus Boya, that's a rivalry. Yeah, yes, it is. Absolutely. Those guys both thought they lost the first fight to each other, and they were secretly scared of rematching with another. If you really think about it, until Boya pulled the plug, and they had to know. So yes, yeah, him, yeah, yeah. Um, hmm. Yeah, my room's not helping with anything else. I got nothing else more. I got Ganondorf and Link over there. Persona, any Persona 4? Nah, not really. Ooh, Edgeworth and Phoenix. Phoenix Wright and Miles Edgeworth. They're still like friends and whatnot, but when those niggas are in the courtroom, you're about to have a really good battle. Um Apollo Justice and Clavier. Is it Gavin Clavier? What's his last name? Shit, what's his name? Clavier. What the fuck is his last name? I'm a fraud. I think it's something. And he has a guilty gear as his thing. Clavier. Yeah, Gavin. I was right. Woo! He's like one of the few prosecutors that's like not a dickhead. So I like him. Off rip. That's my guy though. Y'all gonna see him soon. Y'all gonna see him soon. See the Vidya. Naruto and Sasuke right there. Pang Yak, I think of anything. Danganronpa. I don't know. Junko versus the world. Nai and Audio. Fuck. That's fair. That's fair. I'm not gonna run from that. That's fair. Naya Tagashi. Naya versus Three. Rachel and Kun. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Barry and Thon is timeless. That's a good one. Meta Knight, I suppose, counts. Dio and the Joestar family. Naya and Kratos. Yeah, fuck that burger, Kratos. Yeah. Ryu and Akuma. Ryu and Ken with their friends, I guess. Akuma and Goken. Does that make sense? Does that count? I guess so. Mm. Mm. None of these really have it. Look at my guy Sonic. Hello, Horo Naito. Hey, look at them. Look at them. Look at the team. Look at the gang.
Snowboard Kidzo. Yeah, that's all I really got. I don't know. Optimus and Megatron is good. The Knight from Hollow Knight and Radiance. Yeah, yeah, yeah. East versus a Mike with a classic. Yes. East airbending and crusty and cutting in and out. Aloy versus that one bum who kept hating. Silence, the black guy. If you're talking about anything from Forbidden West, I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, the one guy from the village, from the Nora village, you mean? I think you mean. Yeah, he was a hater. Fuck that guy. He would not let her cook. He would not let her brew. He was a hater for real. I used to be writing my ass off, eh? I used to be putting out shit. I do not. I'm getting back to my writing roots. That's kind of crazy, all things considered. Do I have anything over here I can use? Any of my waifus? Will they lead me to an answer that I need? Oh, Fire Emblem probably has some good ones. Ike versus the Black Knight. I have to say Black Knight. I won't spoil his identity, but that is, oh my god, from Path to Racer Radiant Dawn. Jesus Christ, that shit is fire. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Get Backers doing some of my favorite fights in manga. Get Backers. I don't even know what that is. I don't think I read that. He left the whole clan because Aloy was accepted too. Yeah, fuck him. He a burger. He a super burks. Super burks. Oh, I already came here, didn't I? No, I didn't. I have Maria Sanchez in two different places. Never mind. Let me just open this. So this is loading everything, and you're just failing. Yeah, there you go. That's my background. Will this give me any answers that I need? Nazayoka I talked about. Hitagi versus Koyomi. A better rivalry. Shigure versus Close. I'm joking. Kei and Yuri have a bit of a rivalry. Kiss Shot and I don't know. Robin, I don't know. Himu and Shimanda, I'd say have a low key one. Ohm versus my dick. Um, Brilith versus some of the people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't know. I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm done. Bayonetta's a good. Who did she fucking beef with? John maybe or I don't know. I have to play 3. I still haven't played 3. I have it. It's right here. I got no excuse. I got no reason. I'm just, it is what it is. What can you really do? What can you really do, man? Mario and Luigi? Mario and Bowser. That's a fucking easy one. What the hell's wrong with me? Mario and Bowser. That was an easy one. That's a gimme. Sonic and Eggman or Robotnik. Rhythms of Suffering. It's completely one sided. She's not winning that. She's not winning that one, eh? She's not winning. The last time I wrote something here was when Kobe got an Oscar. Rest in peace to Mamba, bro. Fuck. Yeah, I'll make a music list at some point. My favorite albums from 2017. Let me see this shit. Logic. This is already cooked. Crit, Big Crit. Yeah. Ambitions. One OK Rock. Oh yeah, Flower Boy. I do like Control. 444. Damn. Compass. Trap Ketchum. Where's Trap Ketchum 2? All American Bass is still one of my favorites. I love that. I don't know what I'm looking at. I forgot I used to write other shit. This is from what year? 2017? Oh my god, I'm not a serious person sometimes. I gotta be stopped. This is the only famous person I've ever met. You ever heard that song Here? Oh, here. That got me wonder what I'm doing. Excuse me if I seem a little unimpressed with this. An antisocial pessimist. Usually I don't mess with this. Met her by complete accident and had no idea who she was. It's like 2 years later. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah, Alessia Cara. Yeah, I did, but it was before she blew up, and I had no idea who she was though. I don't know if she was on the map or something, but yeah. Lionel staying away from Martha, Lex and Clark. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I did. It wasn't like a hey yo we hung out. It was like I was at a barbecue event and she happened to be there. We exchanged some conversation. We talked a bit, but I didn't know who she was. I'll never forget because I was like, "What the?" I'm like, That's the girl from college. I don't like a lot of people have like I don't have celebrity stories like that. The only like if you guys are Canadian and you know who Carlos and Sugar are, I've been in the proximity of Sugar. I have spoken to Jamal McGlure. He's an old NBA player. I think he's Canadian. He used to play for the Raptors or somewhere. And I was in the same vicinity as Vince Carter. That's it. I don't run into celebrities. I don't look for them. I don't give a fuck about them. But yeah, I think celebrity worship is very weird. I want better for some of my friends who are just constantly obsessed with what this celebrity and that celebrity is doing or what Kim Kardashian is wearing. It's like get your own life. Like what's so bad about your life? You're so interested in other people's lives. You know? I want better for some people. That's all. So yeah. But yeah, that's like the only famous person I've met, in my opinion, I suppose. If she counts. I'm sure someone will think she's not big, she doesn't count, but yeah. Does Sean Skemmel count? The voice actor for Goku in English? I've spoken to him at Fan Expo. If he counts, I guess him. But he might be more like a C list online celebrity kind of person. One of my friends, he's a super Dragon Ball fan, so he got a picture with him and made him like a Kamehameha on his voice or whatever. So I've met him and the guy who played Jimmy. I can't remember which brother it is, but the Ashmores are twins, and I think they were both on Smallville at one point. My sister met one of them. My little sister met one of them. It's weird. People think celebrities are fictional characters. Yeah, I met Mr. T when he was 11. What the fuck? That's kind of raw. Yeah, I have. Yeah, I don't. Also, I'm the type of person. No matter how famous you are, I'm gonna act normal. Like if I see Cole, I'm like, "Hope you're well, brother," and keep it pushing. Like I'm never gonna act weird. Never gonna mark out because nobody. I don't have an opinion of anybody where I'm like, oh my god, I think it's weird. I don't know. This is me though. I don't think it's weird to like celebrities and stuff, but I think with technology I miss when celebrities you only saw them when they performed or in a movie or like were in a scandal in the paper. Now because of social media, you constantly have access to them. I'm like, you guys are so annoying and corny, and you're just trying to have the most amount of attention of all times. And I wish y'all would just shut the fuck up and go away and fuck off. Who cares? Stop entertaining these burgers. I saw LeBron in a restaurant as a kid, but I was too scared to talk to him. That's fair. Yeah, the Ashmore brothers. I personally know Sriracha. Oh yeah, that's your cousin, right? I was so confused when one of them um played Jimmy. Do you have any reviews, essays on anime manga that are available to read? Probably. I gotta look at all my websites that I've worked and written for. But for a lot of those sites, because my editors force me to dumb my language down and do things like make a top 5 list of comic books you should read. But I got shit on my blog you might find interesting. But I repurposed one or two of these into a video essay. But yeah, it's mostly my old shit because then I just started doing like lists. Let's see what I can find here. I don't know. I've written too much shit to remember at this point. But if you go to like Geeks of Color and Blurs and is it go beyond or whatever, and you type my name in, you'll find shit from me. Like hold on, like you'll find some shit. This is JoJo. What the fuck? Yep, this is one. Okay, well whatever that's supposed to be. Give me a second. Give me a second, y'all. Yeah, I got shit like this that you could find behind the popularity of One Piece. I wrote this years ago though. I think I wrote this in what? This is like 2017, 2016, 2015 is a while ago. I don't have the date here. Yeah, 2017 of April. And this is me. That was my old at. But yeah. I could guess I could post it. I don't even know if I don't even know if I did a good job with this one. I don't even remember what I wrote, but yeah, you type my last name in there and you'll find a bunch of shit that I did. Maybe what I'll do is I'll compile it on a place, and if anyone's interested in reading some of my old work, I think I write way better now. All things considered, I hate reading my old shit because no matter how old, it could be 2 years ago, and I'm like I'm a way better writer than I was 2 years ago. I'm one of those niggas. Yeah, I'll post this in the chat. Because, yeah, I'll post this in the chat. Yeah, I gotta. Now I'm thinking about it. I might be able to use some of these as some essays. Hold on. Is that cheating? No, I wrote that shit. Suck my dick from the back. I might have cooked. I might have just made this process a little more streamlined. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, take a gander. You know what I should do? I want to give you my. I mean, sorry, one more thing. I wanna find my comic book reviews because I remember I would comic book reviews were hard for me because they were ongoing, and I had to find a way to explain how they were good without actually spoiling what happened. But you might find some of these interesting. Yeah, here's this one is mine, Rat Queens. My teachers always told me that was self plagiarizing. I know, but I know I've always heard that, but I was always like that. That doesn't fly. I know I've always heard that, but I was always like that. That doesn't fly. I give myself permission to use my own shit. I give myself permission to use my own. But I remember they used to say that. But I think they used to say that just so you wouldn't use your own shit in the same vein as I'm gonna just use an old article from last year and use it and submit it as a thing. Just use an old article from last year and use it. I remember when I had to quote myself in one of my own my essays from an old essay and quote myself like I didn't say that shit. I'm like, y'all are tripping with that. That never stuck in my craw. I'm like, no. Yeah, there's some shit though. But no, I can prove it. I have the original files where I wrote it, the day I wrote it, all that. Like, if there's a problem, you come to me. I know what I did. Nah. But all right, y'all. I'm actually gonna play the video just to end the stream for anybody who comes in. I don't know. Like, I'm trying to put this video on the map. I need all the feedback. So we gonna end the stream with playing it. And then I'm gonna go eat and enjoy the weekend. Oh, we got 201. Let's go. Every medium has action portions where one person must. I kind of want to listen to it myself, all things considered, and see if I can catch any of my mistakes. Look at my ghetto headphones. Don't worry. Don't watch the for fans. The only way it works. I swear one day I'll stop being ghetto. Someday in my life. The day will come at some point. But until then, it is what it is, bro. I'm actually gonna remove myself. Actually, no, I'm not. Let's see if I cooked, man. Every medium has action portions where one person must engage in combat with another. Whether you're reading a comic book, playing a game, or perhaps you're watching a film. Was the music too loud by the way? Lots of narratives have was the music too loud? I thought maybe the music was too loud. I mean, no action sequences in them. Sometimes in discussions, you'll hear people talk about how this was an awful fight, or this was a transcendent fight, or that perhaps this show doesn't have particularly good fights from top to bottom. And then I began to wonder to myself, what actually makes a fight scene good? So like I just said, in media, there will come a point where a character fights another character. However, one character might fight multiple foes. You might have squad battles or team battles, if you will. Does the number of combatants dictate whether or not a fight is good? Is it the weaponry that was used? You could tell I'm trying to read. That's the thing I don't like about me reading. I sound like I always like it's just that's why I like to talk off the cuff sometimes, but I'll figure it out. Perhaps it's the cinematography or how well it's choreographed. Paneling, is the most important thing the speed, fluidity, and animation?
Yeah, you should have more so in the background. That makes sense. Yeah.
Or is the most important thing the build up and reasoning behind the fight itself? Let's talk. Please like the video, subscribe, and
By the way, so this pause here, I actually dinged my actual bell, but I don't think my mic picked it up, so it just sounds like I paused awkwardly. I didn't realize this until like this morning.
hit the bell so you can stay notified. And let's get into the meat and potatoes of this discussion. I have always felt just a little bit excluded when it comes to fight scenes in general. By which I mean this. A lot of fights that the people I hang around or interact with seem to like different fights than I do, or at the very least, they like the same fight for different reasons, which is interesting. It seems a lot of my peers enjoy action that has high speed and massive destruction. And don't get me wrong, I love your galaxy.
Since I'm looking at it, Uzui versus what's his name again? Gyutaru? No, Doma. What the fuck is the guy's name? That's one of the I don't care. That's one of the best fights I've watched like the last 5 years. That shit was good.
Chucking slugfest as much
It's
as the
gas,
next
too.
guy or gal, but I've always saw fights as two separate things from this standpoint.
Awkward pause. I saw that.
Firstly,
I saw that.
the build up, history, stakes,
I
and
should've reversed what I'm
circumstances
reading,
of the fight itself.
a couple times
And then
before I did it.
secondly, separate to those things that I just mentioned, would be the actual fight itself. So simply put, I'm talking about the reason behind the battle and the actual battle when it plays out.
I'm also gonna start adding sound effects and stuff, and at some point I'll add little bits of humor here and there. I won't overdo it because I don't like people who make too many jokes in a video I'm trying to take serious. If you're like, oh, the deconstruction of what a magical girl is, and you keep cracking jokes every 2 minutes, I'm gonna leave. Are you been saying in stream once that he reverses his scripts to make it sound less scripted? So I don't know how that works. No, that works because for speech arts, back in the day for like rocks and minnows and stuff, you'd rehearse your speech over and over to the point you almost wouldn't need your cue cards. So that makes sense. I didn't rehearse mine. I kind of wrote it, typed it up, had people look at it, did a second draft, and just started reading it. So it probably wasn't in my head as fresh as it could be. So I'm gonna try that.
The reason why the characters are fighting each other is extremely important. If you show
But I
me
think
a
my
fight scene
visuals
from
are
a
good,
movie
though.
I don't watch,
I think what I
it's
had on
cool.
screen
But-
in conjunction with what I was talking about was probably the best thing that I did and what I was actually saying, but I can say it better in terms of how I present
Since
it.
I have no attachment to the characters or have any
Like I sound
context,
monotonous and
it's not
robotic in
going
my
to
opinion.
excite me.
But I hate my voice. I could be
Superman
being hard on
versus
myself.
Zod to me is a great fight contextually because Superman has to stop Zod or it's the end of humanity. He has a reason to fight this person he doesn't know all too well to protect his home, the people in it, even though Zod is one of the last Kryptonians alongside himself and his father wanted him to be the bridge between two people. The history and interpersonal relationships behind the characters that are engaging in battle is also really important. When two really good friends fight, what is the reason?
I've had this clip for like 2 years or like a year or some change, and I finally had a reason to use it. I've been dying to use this clip for no reason.
Perhaps a different in ideals?
Foolishness, Dante.
Did the two characters
Foolishness.
that were once close start to disconnect somewhere and then clashed with one another? For example, Naruto versus Sasuke happened because Sasuke needed to go down a dark path in order to obtain power, to avenge his clan and kill his brother. Naruto, having being a talentless ninja, had caught up and even temporarily surpassed Sasuke, a respected prodigy, though we have to note that Naruto does come from an oppressive lineage and does have the Nine-Tailed Fox as well. But that being said, they came to blows. This would eventually lead Naruto and Sasuke to fight to the death 2 times in Final Valley. Another really good example of this is Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I was so sure Disney's gonna come for me or something, or like Lucasfilms, and it was Mappa's bitch ass. That's like, oh, it's 12 seconds, 12 seconds. I'm like, bro, Mappa, leave me alone. Some people work better off bullet points rather than literal scripts. That's me. That's really me, but I'm just trying something new. That's really what I'm doing. I'm trying something new though. But you're right. I'm more of a like. I know what I want to say for the most part, but how do I want it to flow and then think about it throughout the course of the day? So by the time I record it, I'm good. Obi-Wan was Anakin's master, brother, and even a father figure. They had been through many dangerous missions and got out of them together, saving one another, relying on one another, growing and learning together. But Anakin was power hungry, in love when it was forbidden, and afraid to lose the people he cared about again by being too weak, which would eventually, I don't know if you notice here, lead like Obi-Wan's falling, and I tried to like really line up what I was saying with what was going on. So I'm like, yo, he was even afraid to like lose Obi-Wan. I know this scene doesn't necessarily mean that, but like I tried to really pick what I had on screen very carefully. Them down different paths, with Anakin being tempted by the dark side, which leads to their epic fight in Revenge of the Sith. How about the stakes of a fight? What it means for either party to win or lose? What makes Rob Lucci versus Monkey D. Luffy one of the most compelling fights I've ever had the pleasure of experiencing is what is at stake if Luffy loses. After declaring war against the world government, traveling through a natural disaster, being ostracized by an entire island, and then getting Robin, a character with
every
no self-worth
Ennius
who
Lobby's
thinks
like
her
clip,
life is
bro.
meaningless,
Anime,
to care
the
about her
movie,
life enough
the
to value her
OVA,
life enough
manga,
to cry
I used
and
all of
beg
it.
for it. After all that, losing was not an option.
I should use
In
a
order to
game, too,
continue their
secretly.
adventure, in order to protect his friends, Luffy summoned every last bit of willpower he had from within and unleashed a devastating flurry of punches and won the battle. But barely. It was an emotional roller coaster, but it was the good kind. Now for the fights themselves, the execution of the actual combat. What I look for is a variety of things, and some are exclusive to the type of story I'm experiencing. I'm not expecting Kamehamehas in a realistic, grounded story. Good and clear artwork and animation is one of the most important things. Paneling, if it's in graphic novel form, I don't need it to be fast, just clear and fluid. I enjoy seeing characters use cool and even sometimes real techniques in battle, or seeing them apply something basic.
I have to throw shade at this because I still think Akuma being a canon Tekken character, whatever the fuck, is the dumbest shit I've ever seen.
Creatively. High-speed battles can be cool, but even slow, realistic battles can be excellent. Now, mindless battles are the worst sometimes, where both characters are just flexing their stuff, trying to overpower the other character with just speed, raw strength, on top of having no good reason to even be fighting. It works sometimes if that's the type of character the combatant is, but typically, I need a little bit more substance. Battles that use wits, tactics, and strategies are some of my
so
favorites.
iconic.
Hell, it doesn't even have
That
to
is
be
crazy.
a physical fight. It could be a battle of intellectuals a la L versus Light, Death Note. Sports series can have scuffles, but we're here for the matches, the games, the actual sporting events.
Shot was left foot hit the post. He just like me for real.
I mean, Food Wars. The cook-offs are the action. So oddly enough, a punch or
foot
kick
would
doesn't
work.
even have to be thrown, depending on the genre of the series. Now circling back to the meathead scraps with bad booking. I admit to occasionally being a fan of the more simple-minded, super fast, destructive battles. Sometimes they are just too damn hype. The first kind of fight in manga that comes to my mind when I'm thinking of this is Toriko, because that story is all about eating good and throwing hands, but I will not sit here and pretend that Starjun versus Toriko was not incredibly epic. That fight was awesome. Avatar: The Last Airbender and The Legend of Korra have some of my favorite action segments because of bending. The fights incorporate real martial arts with elements, and the fights are like a beautiful dance. It's artistic, it's stylish, it's distinctive, and fluid. It's not super fast paced as, let's say, Dragon Ball, but there's beauty in the battle between benders. The cinematography, the use of paneling and camera angles is also phenomenal, and I feel like that's also extremely
vital when creating a fight, especially when it's filmed or animated. Now, not a fan of Ruby these days, but Ruby does have some of the coolest action sequences I've ever seen to date due to the style of animation and advanced creative weaponry. I'm talking relatively fast paced with cool weapons, shotgun gauntlets, a sniper rifle scythe. There's good camera work, it's choreographed well. In the yellow trailer, Yang fights Melanie and some other chick who both use kicks to combat Yang's primarily
This show
fist
sucks, but this
oriented
sequence is so
fighting
gas. I
style.
don't care.
The use of jukes, feints, footsies made for a really good action sequence. There was also a clash in style, and as they say, styles make fights. I took the Twitter, Twix, X, I don't know what we're calling it anymore, Patreon and YouTube and asked some people what makes a good fight scene, and I got a variety of answers ranging from good power scaling, unique abilities, music, speed blitzing, artworks, fights with emotions, content of the fights, gore, destruction, and more. However, I'm not going to read the comments in this video like I initially said I would. What I'm going to do is we're going to do a stream. The gunchuck clip? What's that? I don't think I have that. Do I need that? What is that? Talking about the subject matter and touching on what it is you guys said, but there were a lot of good comments. But with that being said, it's time for us to conclude this video with my final thoughts. Ultimately, there are a lot of elements to factor in when we're talking about a fight scene or action sequence. We all look for different things. Some people love guns, some people like magic, some people prefer hand to hand, some people like a combination of all. But if I could describe what makes a fight scene truly elite in my eyes, I would say it's the yin and yang of the build up and follow through. Good promo, good booking, and ultimately the execution and payoff from the hype build up. I think the reason behind the fight and how the fight plays out itself, that perfect blend is what makes a fight scene truly elite. Now, I'm passing the puck to you. What makes a good fight scene in your eyes? What are some of your favorite fight scenes across any medium? I don't care if it's a game, something you watch, something you read. I want to know. Share it with me in the comment section below and let me know what you thought about this style of video. This is kind of the type of content I want to make moving forward. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you got this far, I really appreciate it. And you guys have yourselves a mighty fine day. As always, I appreciate the Patreon. But yeah, that was that. Yeah, I caught a lot of what Jay and some of the people were saying about the pausing and the music and the volume being a little low, so I'll work on that. I already think that the one that I made, I worked on for the last 2 days is much. I don't know if it's better visually. I think it's probably comparable visually, but I think I got the audio and me sounding more natural part a lot better. I did go on 2 tangents where I didn't actually stutter or stumble on my words, so it comes across a lot more natural. But yes, the ride versus the ending will probably come out like Tuesday. What Tower God discussion, live action Kubera. So yeah, it's whatever. So Sunday, Monday. So yeah, probably Wednesday I'll drop. And then if you're in my third tier of Patreon patrons, you could already see it. The next one will probably be out by like Monday or Tuesday because I've been chipping away at them. But I'm calling it a weekend. I'm about to go relax for the weekend. I'm tired. Everybody, I appreciate y'all. Go watch that video if you haven't. Run it up. Tell your friends. Comment. Give me that watch time. All that. I'm gonna be out. Y'all be safe. Actually, is anyone streaming? Let me be nice. Let's go raid. Let's go raid Bow. Let me be nice. Can we raid again? Which one is it? This one? There we go. Let's raid this nigga. I don't know why he plays fucking League. We gotta save him. But alright, y'all be safe.